7% of 300 million is a lot and a great improvement. And it's got to go more so in that direction. That's why when I hear these people in the metaphysical and paranormal communities, oh, alien contact's going to happen in the year 2008. Excuse me, I'm still pale. It's not happening, okay? The thing is, the benevolent factions, the pale skin is an abomination to Mother Earth, an abomination to the family of man. It wasn't supposed to exist. It's an insult to the benevolent factions to even waste their time contacting a population that engages in tribal warfare because of that 30% abomination that controls the natural 70% that's supposed to inherit the land. So this is the thing that's going on. There. No, what I'm saying is that all the pale skins have to be absorbed back into the family of man. All right? This pale skin has to go. Now that may take, another 100 years, another 500 years. So don't hear me this crap about alien contact being around the corner when this pale skin still exists. And if those SOBs do show up on our doorstep, it'll be a wolf in sheep's clothes, and you should run for the hills because they're coming a little too early, which means they have other intentions. All right? Yes? Oh. The body has to have a soul. Mm-hmm. So once the body dies, where does the soul go? It was created by a new crew. Yes, that's another interesting thing. The gene. Symbolically, the gene for passion is the soul. I think, therefore I am. That is the soul. Without that gene for passion, you are nothing. You are an empty, hollow husk obeying commands. This is this process it's a learning process called the process of reincarnation, and this is what. Yes. Okay. Oh, thank you.
It's a little expensive. Okay. So
Okay.
just a little something.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you so much. Yeah, let's give him a clap, please. Beautiful. Okay. We're gonna have to get him again. Maybe have a bigger crowd.
I'll come back
Part 2
again,
and part
guys.
3,
Yeah.
He does all those kinds of things.
I'll definitely come back again. All right. Oh, does anybody have the other photo album? Oh, okay, she's got that. Okay. $12, yeah.
And is this what you're just talking about?
There's a lot of stuff that's in here that's written in, and it's written in poetic format, symbolism in the poetry. Because I felt that, in a lot of ways, that was the only way to get it into a book like this. There is another book I want to write that gets into this in a more expansive way, a literal way.
What you gonna call it? You haven't made up your mind.
I haven't made up my mind yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rick,
Do I have to pay you for these?
No, those are free.
Okay.
I'm the DC. Keep that.
Oh,
I'm
thank
the
you.
reason you're here. I'm not
Oh.
interested in nobody else but listen to you.
Thank you very much.
When I contact you, I'll have some specific questions.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay?
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. It's great to meet you.
I want to ask a question.
Yes.
What is the benefit of prayer and meditation to what we are right now?
The whole, yes.
We would like to buy your book.
Oh, okay. I'll give you 3 ones back. The whole, some people call it prayer. I call it, it's more sensible to say meditation. You can call it whatever you want. And the reason for it is to cleanse your minds, because in order to cleanse the Temple of Solomon, you have to first start with the mind. And the reason you start with the mind is because they use psychological warfare against the human race.
So what are you going to access? When you meditate, you're going to access something. What are you going to access? Something that's already in you? Or
Well, you would, what I feel you do is you end up accessing something you could call your higher self, which basically connects you to the other lifetimes that you lived, and you can learn lessons from that and open up like a whole living library within yourself. Learn what happened with the past, and then also see what's going to happen with the future, because the past and the future move in cycles. To know the past, you can easily predict the future.
above all of that, what's in charge? I mean, where do all these guys? You started over here.
You know? At this point in time, the system is still a two-party system. It was.
Yeah, but what's controlling that? I mean, it just didn't come from nowhere.
Ultimately, what I go back to is the Satar Queens, the Arians.
Well, who's above them?
That, I wouldn't be able to tell you. If there's something above that, I haven't learned it yet.
Right, okay.
You might have to ask somebody else, okay?
Sure.
But I would definitely try to take this and merge it with what Bob Urey was talking about upstairs when he was writing those names on the board, okay, the different levels. I would think these are the pale-skinned whites, okay? So they're called Aryans, but he also called them Kordax or Kori. I forget the name he used. You can ask him again. That term he used would be right here.
Can we study ancient Egypt and pull something from that?
Yes, because the part I didn't get to was that the original religion of the planet for the Moorish legacy and the lamp of illumination, the anointed ones, the line of the prophets, it's called Kemet, and that is the original name of Egypt, Al-Kemet.
Right.
The capital of Egypt is Al-Kahira, known also as Cairo, and Al-Kahira or Cairo translates into the word Mars.
Right.
Henceforth, Sidonia Codex I mentioned earlier, the Martian geoglyphs, the Mesoamerican geoglyphs.
Hebrew language. And the Hebrews. That's all from Kemet also, the Hebrews?
It would all go back to that. You got to take into consideration black Jews, known as Levites. They were the ones specifically in charge of handling the Golden Ark. Nobody else can touch it. To this day, it exists, and anyone else who tries to examine it or touch it, especially a pale-skinned scientist, will be vaporized because they don't know how to handle it the right way. Only these black Levites, black Jews, referred to in slang, are the only ones who have been trained since the beginning of all this to handle that technological device the right way without destroying themselves.
And they still exist today.
It still exists to this day. It is in association with that, it was one of the biggest motivations for getting into and invading Baghdad, getting to the Baghdad Museum, which is a profound museum worldwide because they have these ancient alien artifacts which are seen as religious symbols but are actually technological devices. I don't think they work anymore, but it's like looking at giant capacitors and diodes, which was also the case of why the Ark is characterized as being laced with gold. Gold, as I said, is a perfect electrical conductor. The Ark is a technological capacitor, diode, transistor, whatever.
Right.
Okay?
You ever heard of Fred Bell?
Who?
Fred Bell.
Fred Bell.
Doesn't ring a bell like that.
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't. What's your name, by the way?
Noah.
Noah? Oh,
Right.
nice to
I
meet you.
get your cards. You have an email address?
Yes, I do. I also use the take the card that's in front of the postcards there.
Right.
As the UFO teacher at AOL.com. That email address. Use that one. All right.
And I'll send you a copy of the other.
Okay.
Can I get your autograph?
Oh, sure. Yes. You were the one.
And I'd like to
Okay.
purchase it and get your autograph.
Okay.
Will this book touch on the concepts and the different things?
Yes, but in a symbolic way. That's why I said I want to do a second book that gets into it literally. Okay. Your name?
It's for Ryan.
Okay.
Ryan bought it.
Ryan. Ryan. R-Y-A.
No.
How you spell?
R-O-N.
R-O-N. Okay, Ron.
You know, I was thinking back in Europe during the time of feudal kingdoms and all of that, the Moors were also had shields and different things showing that they were in rulership in the feudal kingdom. Was that a part of the civilizing?
Thank you.
Was that a part? What you're saying of the civilizing process, the mating with Moorish, like in Scotland and Britain, they had, they showed that there was a Moorish legacy, the shields, what do you call the?
I think a lot of that comes directly from the legacy of the Sasquatch or those kind of anointed ones, because every culture has one. This is where the Scots got the idea of fighting from the hills and using guerrilla warfare. What the Scots learned is also what was taught to the Native Americans, who then passed it on to George Washington to win against the British.
Okay.
Yeah.
My simplified question was all this commingling, was that meant to be part of a civilizing process?
Yes.
Humanizing?
Yes. It was meant to create a gateway or a doorway for the pale skin to come back home, come back to the family of men, so that you wouldn't, because ultimately, if people of color of hue want to inherit the legacy of custodianship in this kingdom, they must rescue the pale-skinned brother and sister from annihilation, because being that they're the ones in power, if they are allowed to destroy themselves in an act of genocide, they're also going to wipe out everybody else, black, white, or otherwise. So that's why the mandate comes down from the galactic community: get the damn pale-skins back into the family of man, otherwise you're all dead. Because as long as that pale skin exists, so does the nuclear bomb.
So in fact, everybody's
But
joined at the hip.
it's our
Yeah.
consciousness that can help that situation. Our consciousness here that can call for that the council of, you know, Enoch and the rest of the folks sitting up in there, you know, our brothers, you know, to keep that, because if we have a nuclear explosion again, you know what I mean? You know,
See,
There's
here's
a
what's
good, there's a good linguistic understanding of the